Unfortunately, this time they didn't succeed. I hope that we keep up this vigilance because we need to. We don't know where they will strike, when and how. This is something that is not going to stop. I hope I am wrong, but I really believe that they are here, those kind of extremists are here to stay. Having studied those people, those extremists in Saudi Arabia for a long time, watching them, analyzing them, I could foresee what was going to happen in the future, and unfortunately I was right. I am shocked but not surprised. The ideology of those extremists is something terrible for me as a Westerner, because for them freedom, individualism does not exist. Their aim, and this is what scared me, this is why I fought to keep my daughter out of there, and it's to impose their values and their things on other countries. You know, I lived in Saudi Arabia for so many years. I didn't criticize their value because it was theirs, and it's up to them to keep it if they want to. What bothers me is when they are trying to bring their values to our Western world. They know our society, they know our laws, they are educated enough to know about what we stand for and use it against us, and we have to be very vigilant to not let that happen. I hope I am wrong, but deep down, unfortunately, I think terrorism act will continue for a long, long time. I am happy that they failed this time, but I am wondering what the next time and what will happen if we fail to stop them. It will be tremendous, tremendous tragedy.
Carmen bin Laden at the airport joins us now in our little lounge here in This Week. Welcome to the programme. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
When we heard of these bomb attempts in London, then saw them in Glasgow airport, we were probably surprised. The British were still surprised that this was happening. What was your reaction? What went through your mind when you heard about them?
I think you always hope that this will not happen, and you are always, there is a kind of small surprise, but my first reaction was, thanks God, they failed.
It didn't work.
Yes, they failed to succeed in trying to destroy so many lives. But again, right away you think about the next time. And
you think they're going to try again?
Unfortunately, I hope I am wrong, but I think they will continue to try.
Bombs which are intact.
Did it not go through your mind, Diane, though, as it did mine, that if these terrorists had been successful on the Friday and the Saturday, which is possible, that this would have been our 9/11? This would have been on a far, far bigger scale than 7/7.
Yes, I mean, like Michael, I wasn't completely surprised because it's always been clear that we're in this for the long haul with these terrorist attacks. Well, the thing that surprised me a bit, though, was that they all turned out to be professionals. They all turned out to be doctors, because one's used to this notion of terrorists as being alienated and marginalised.
If the ones that we've taken into custody are...
Yes, sorry, that they are alleged to be doctors and professionals, and we're used to the notion of terrorism as
and yet it didn't seem so professional.
The 9/11 terrorists, yes, the 9/11 terrorists, were nearly all educated young men from Saudi Arabia.
Yes, that as well.
No, I think they are not professional. Those are normal people who are educated people, who are not professional terrorists. This is the scary part of it, because anybody could be your neighbor, anybody that you encounter could be a potential terrorist. That's the...
Dehydrated?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. What do they want? What is the aim of these terrorists, either organised by or inspired by Osama bin Laden?
You see, this is the true challenge, because for the first time in history, it's not, you know, usually terrorism was a revendication of something.
And they had a specific goal.
Yes.
The IRA wanted a united Ireland.
Exactly. And, you know, but this time the Palestinian wants their land, and I don't know what. But this time it's a kind of terrorism of ideology. And that's the scary part, because they are everywhere. The last 30 years, Saudi Arabia and the Gulf area had, after the oil embargo of 73, they came to a tremendous wealth. And they had 30 years, and we in the West, we didn't realize the money came and they gave it to spread this.
And they financed this Wahhabi
Exactly.
ideology,
Everywhere.
which ended up with Osama bin Laden.
Yes.
So the Saudis have paid for this.
Yes, and they are still paying for it.
But it's a war of ideology, in your view.
They really, truly believe that the Wahhabi Islamic, that the world will become Islamic. For in their eyes, we are not believers.
Okay. Michael, how do we deal with that?
Well, we have to recognise what an enormous threat it is and how enormous these ambitions are. That's why I don't quite understand what the government is saying about abandoning the war on terror. I mean, it seems to me the war on terror is not a bad description, because there is a global struggle which is involved.
Well, I mean, the problem with the idea of a war on terror is you can't have a war against an abstraction. I just want to
Why
ask,
not?
Because you can't, Michael. You have to have a war against something
the first
that's
time
actually
we
solid.
have-
No,
I wanted to ask.
I've often heard that point made, but I simply don't understand what you mean. It's perfectly clear that there are people all over the world who want to change the world and want to kill a lot of people.
Yeah,
and I don't see why we
you
can't
can
make
have
a war against
against people or an army.
Well, then we are.
Yeah, I
Then
just
we are.
wanted to ask you, did you ever meet any members of the Bush family?
No.
Okay.
No. What are we saying? There's a moral equivalence between the Bush family and Osama bin Laden?
No, I was just interested in the links between the Bush family and bin
Let's
Laden.
stick with our theme here. What would you recommend? How do we... I mean, first of all, if you're right, we have to appreciate the enormity of the challenge. Our Prime Minister is now talking about a 40-year war. It could be a 100-year war. How do we handle it?
But I think he's right. Unfortunately, I think he's right. I think we are in a new era that for the first time in our history, the war has no beyond border. It could be here, it could be France, it could be any place, and it's what I call them. It's an army of shadow. You don't know where they will strike. When the 9/11 attacks. Those people lived among the Americans for a year, behaved despite their very strong belief.
Drinking, going to nightclubs.
To fool the people around them. And one day they took, and for the first time in history, they take our technology to make destructive bomb against us.
Final question to you. Are they getting stronger or weaker?
We are getting more vigilant. This is one thing that, you know, before 9/11, it was something far away, it happened.
But are they getting stronger?
Yes, I think they are not weak. I don't believe they are weak.
Well, we thank you, Cameron bin Laden. We have to leave it there. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Let us be clear. Terrorists are criminals whose victims come from all walks of life, communities and religious backgrounds. Terrorists attack the values that are shared by all law-abiding citizens. As a government, as communities, as individuals, we need to ensure that the message of the terrorists is rejected.
It's run out.
The Prime Minister said we need evidence about Hizb ut-Tahrir. This organisation says, and I quote, Jews should be killed wherever they are found. What more evidence do we need before we ban this organisation?
We can ban it under the